Oh, hey, good morning. Happy Monday. I'm back. Had to make some coffee. I slept in, obviously. Had to get my coffee made. A lot of comments. Good morning. Good morning. I guess we can remove the banner. Let's put this. What's up? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? I had a good weekend. Saturday, I hit up the Rockford Card Show. Unfortunately, I had to go. The circumstances sucked on why I was driving through the area. My aunt passed away about a month ago. Did a celebration of life. It was nice. It was kind of pastor was there and said a few words. It was at like the used to be an American Legion Hall. It's now just like the community center in the town of 200. Very small town. So it was nice. We played bags. Just partied on a Saturday afternoon. It was great. And that's what she would have wanted. So that was good times. And we did eBay Live last night, and it was smashed my previous record for sales. In fact, I haven't cross-checked the numbers, but I'm pretty sure I did more in sales yesterday than I did the entire month of March of last year in one day. Those are hopefully the last night's sales is not an outlier. Last March was an outlier. I think I took my spring break trip in the middle of the month, and I did a lot of like preparation. I wasn't really focused on my eBay store last March in 2024. So that's kind of an outlier. I don't think I came close to that low of a number in the last couple of years. So it was a good day on eBay yesterday. Between eBay Live and then a couple buy it now sales, I'm pretty close to matching my year to date sales. Buy it now and eBay Live are pretty close. I have a feeling by the end of this week, I will have made more on eBay Live than buy it now. And obviously, I've only been on eBay Live for 5 weeks. I think this is week 5. So it's going well. Last night was great. I haven't checked my numbers for the year to date, but I know that I'm pacing well ahead of my goal of 40% growth year over year. My next eBay Live will be tomorrow night, Tuesday night. It's an 80s at 8 event. I'll be doing slabs. I'll be doing rookies and Hall of Famers. A lot of good stuff coming. Last time I did an 80s at 8, it was a great event, and I'm looking forward to another one. I've got some stuff coming from the 80s. We're probably going to do another 80s at 8 in the next couple of weeks. I've procured a couple complete sets. I think a couple football complete sets. And the guy I'm buying from, he's going through some of his singles. He's like, these are the only sets I have, but he's got some more singles. So I'm not sure when we'll meet on that. But then there was another collection that I'm probably going to be picking up here in the next, maybe even this week. And I want to get over to Milwaukee and do a sourcing trip at one of the card shops. So that's on my docket. I don't know. I might wait till Friday to do that. I don't know. We'll see. So today's going to be a shipping day. Being gone, I did get some shipping done when I got home Sunday afternoon before my eBay Live, but still plenty to do, especially with last night's eBay Live and Friday's eBay Live. So a lot of stuff going on. Since I'm talking about all that, I want to dive into my numbers just to keep me on top of things. So we're going to do January 1st, and then we'll go through yesterday, June 1st. We're going to compare that to the same period in 2024. Remember, my goal is 40% growth year over year. And 69%. 69%. And obviously that's all thanks to eBay Live. Yeah, it should by the end of this week, I should match. I should be neck and neck with my sales via eBay Live and sales via fixed price. My quantity sold is up year over year 14%. Average sales price is up 25%. So numbers are looking good. And I don't think I'm just gonna surpass 40%. I think I'm gonna absolutely crush that 40% year over year growth. All right, where are we at? Let's go say hello to the chat. All right, I got too many windows open. Here we are. All right, this is all of these chats are going to be. Where's Bo? He's making coffee. Victor's in the house. Good morning. How about those Cubs? How about those Cubs? Another win. I think the Cubs have the best record. They might be tied for the best record in the National League. I listened to a little bit of the game on the radio driving home. Cubs are off today. Play the Nationals. So 627. So they're tied with the Mets. So Mets and Cubs have the best record in the National League, ahead of the Dodgers. God, I love that. Oh, I love that. And then in all of baseball, they are tied for second. Only the Tigers. How about the Tigers? Best record in baseball. Yankees are like a game below the Cubs and Mets. Phillies are up there. Dodgers up there. There you go. How about that? How about that? Love it. Florida baseball card dude, good morning. Bargain Boxer, he's got the countdown. Speaking of sourcing, I'll be doing some sourcing at the National. We're 58 days away. I don't even know what I'll be looking for at the National. Now, I have an idea what I'll be looking for, but that can change in the next 58 days. What I've been selling is ever evolving. Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Joe says, is Ernie running the show today? Ernie's snoozing. He did get his poop and pee in this morning. He was a good boy. Slept through the night. Ernie had a lot of fun yesterday. When I got home, we went for a walk. And then as soon as we got home from the walk, his best friend Rookie was outside next door. So we went over and played with Rookie. And then Rookie was outside again last night. So we went and played with Rookie again for a second time. So Ernie had a lot of fun. So he was pretty tuckered out last night. Mark, good morning. Peter's in the house. Happy Monday. Good morning, nerds. What's happening, Bargain Boxer? Branded Collectibles, good morning. Philly Joe says, is everything okay? It is now. Now that the coffee is made. Cheers. It's good mushroom coffee. Branded Collectible says he must have gone into the yard to pick mushrooms to grind for coffee. I do have mushrooms in the backyard. So they put down some fresh mulch last week or 2 weeks ago. And obviously a lot of mushrooms grow from mulch, not the good kind though. So I just, I'm always curious when I see stuff in my yard, I want to know what it is. And so I took a photo of the mushrooms growing in my mulch, took a photo, put it in ChatGPT, and I said, what is this? And it's called a vomiter mushroom. And I'm like, probably can't eat that one. And that's the nickname of it because it makes you violently ill. Joe says I was kidnapped. I'm back. John says eBay Live money truck just showed up. Bo needs to get his pallet jacked. Yes. And I should be due for another Goodwill pallet soon. It's been a little over 2 months now. I think I'm due. Maybe today's the day. Branded Collectible says, at least I think he is still drinking that mushroom coffee. Otherwise, that comment takes on an entirely different meaning. I am still drinking my Rise mushroom coffee. And I don't even like regular coffee anymore. Like when I drink regular coffee, it's like, oh. I had a cup of coffee at my mom's house yesterday morning, and I'm like, just doesn't, it hits different and not in a good way, in my opinion. Unicorn Cupcake wants to know, am I picking the mushrooms for the coffee? Don't want to do that. Not in my backyard. Don't want to do that. The vomiter mushroom. Philly Joe says, I messaged him that his eBay Sunday Live was still live. It is. It shouldn't be because my phone's not even on. Oh, huh. End event. I guess I should end the event. There you go. Gem Dealer for All says maybe I'm looking at Philly Joe. Thank you for letting me know, because yeah, it's been running all night. I'm going back to I'm going back through the chats. It's been dark for 2 hours. Yeah, it's been dark for about 12 hours now. Well, shoot. There we go. Now it's over. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's forgot to hit the end stream button. Brian's with us. What's up? Good morning. Tiger 727 in the house. Maybe he used the wrong mushroom and is chasing dragons around the yard. Rich says best episode ever. He said his clocks, he sold his clocks on eBay Live. Must be the best coffee ever. It is the best coffee. And good Morgan. Big difference in those mushrooms. Yeah, it is. Carrie, what's going on? Reds fans awfully quiet after all that chirping on Friday. You know, I will say the Reds have a good team, and they're going to be dangerous, but not this weekend. Go Cubs. Red lights in the crane. What's happening? He buying his coffee from Jake Plummer. Orlando, what's going on? Congrats on your eBay Live success. I remember when you didn't even do auction. Remember that? Auctions suck. Auctions suck. I probably have. I think that was like 8 months ago. I said eBay auctions are fun, but they still suck sometimes. I thought I did a Hobby Evolution where it's like auctions suck. I wonder if I type in auctions. I typed in auctions suck and those two kind of popped up. eBay auctions, good or bad? And I'm pretty sure I was on the bad side. How about episode 1302? Will auctions dominate my sales business in 2025? Woo! How about that? Hobby Evolution episode 410. Why eBay auctions will lose you money? There we go. All right. How things evolve. Snook's in the house. Good morning. Unicorn Cupcake says, I won an auction for $2. Don't even remember what it was. See, there you go. I don't know. What's your name? I don't know what your eBay name is. I'm used to Unicorn Cupcake. I see names pop up and it's like, oh, when I see like the address, when I go to ship, it's like, oh, this is Unicorn Cupcake. Cody's in the house. Good morning, Cody. I need to text you today about what we talked about. Dan's in the house. What's happening? It's already June 2nd. It's like, I've got so much time. It's like, shit, it's June 2nd already. TD Sports Cards. Good morning. Red Light says, how about that new card shop in Burbank? Wish they had a card shop like that in Indiana. Yeah, Burbank's new card shop. Yeah, how about that? Dan says, picked up 3 Burley cards today, 2 newer autos, and a 2003 Donruss Diamond Kings National Redemption of 5. Nice. Hey, I saw 2 Mark Burley autos in a, I guess you could call it a bargain box on Saturday at the card show. I was really strapped for time. I was gonna take a picture and text you, but it was, what time would that have been? Yeah, it would have been probably prime time for you. It was no. It would have been, you probably would have been sleeping because it was probably like 11 a.m. my time. So yeah, you would have been. So I wouldn't have got an answer. Branded Collectible says that is crazy growth. John says, I only paid $1 for shipping from my auction win. See, got cheap shipping on my eBay Live, 99 cents for the first item, 25 cents for each additional. You're Jalapa, because I kept mispronouncing it. I was calling it Zalapa, and then I called it Jalapa. Jalapa 61. Okay. John says he overpaid about $70 on my auction. Well, you got some good stuff. Kerry says, looks like Corbin Burns is headed for Tommy John surgery. He said his elbow was, I saw that. That sucks, man. So many season-ending injuries from pitchers here in the last couple of years. Brandon says, what do you attribute the success of your most recent live to versus the one that previous you weren't as smiley about? So my Friday was really good as well. I did double. Did I do double? Yeah, I did double what I made on Thursday night on my Friday morning sale. And then basically blew both of those out of the water last night. I think the biggest thing is not what I did. It's not what I had list because nothing's listed. It's just all surprises. Obviously, when I throw cards on there, I had the right audience. And people were snapping up Mahomes and Jordan and Brady. The slabs did well, which I'm going to talk about, that I picked up on Saturday. But I don't think any of that was the reason. The reason for the success last night was eBay and the push notifications. I saw there were a lot of people in the room last night in the chat that said, I didn't even know eBay was doing live. I just got this notification. So I think eBay sent out a push notification on my behalf. I was also in the seller spotlight, which is a carousel on the homepage for eBay Live. I'm also part of the carousel for Sunday Singles, which is an eBay branded marketing effort for singles sales on Sundays. So I think the eBay marketing, and I had almost 3,000 viewers for the auction and another 2,000 afterwards. So I think when I just went back and checked, I had almost 5,000 viewers. Now that's cumulative. That's not at the same time. So when you see like 2,000 viewers, that doesn't mean 2,000 viewers are in the room. That just means 2,000 viewers have checked in. And sometimes they check in like, I don't want Patrick Mahomes base cards. I want shiny, slabby autographs. And so they leave the stream. So that's a cumulative number. So at the end of the show, it doesn't mean 3,000 were there at that one point. It just means 3,000 during the duration of the show. So, it was pretty much, I can't take credit for last night's success because I think it was 99% generated by eBay. Now, would I have made less money if I put crappy stuff out there? Absolutely. But I don't want to do that. If I see a lot of people in the room and I want to throw cards out there that people want and people are buying. So I don't want to throw, I'm making money on these base cards. I'm going to throw all these Bowman base cards. And then all of a sudden it's like, so you want to attract, as many people as possible. Dan says, what show did you go to? I was in Rockford, the Rockford card show. And I know the dealer. The dealer that had him doesn't set up at my shows because he lives down in like central Illinois. But I do see him at a lot of the Chicago area shows. Rockford. Yeah, Rockford. Philly Joe says, that was your largest audience by about 3x eBay pushed Sunday Singles. I think I hit 2,000 during an auction. But it was Sunday and I've bet on Sunday Singles for, the last like 4 Sundays, but for whatever reason, I think eBay did more with that, with push notifications and in marketing efforts. Brian says, have more time to spend on eBay. Got to get my listings back up. Hopefully that doesn't mean you're looking for a new job. Are you on vacation? Hopefully you're on vacation. And that's why you have more time to spend on eBay. So I went to the Rockford card show on Saturday. And I had I just burned the shit out of my tongue. I had some ideas on what I was going to buy, but it's got to be is what I'm looking for going to be at the show available, and is it going to be priced right? So I was looking for, I've been on like an 80s kick, and I want to do another 80s night, just based on some other purchases I've made recently. And then Jordan, I've flown through my Jordan singles, so I wanted to, and I knew another dealer, Steve. By the way, Steve is the guy that I got the Acuna super short print from, and he brings it up every time. He's like, "You're going to buy these cards for $1, and how much are you going to make on this?" And I'm like, "I'll do okay." And he's like, "I'll sell you the whole box." I'm like, "I don't want the whole box. I want to cherry pick." He's like, "I know what you want to do." So I was looking for that, and I pretty much, and there was some other stuff that I wanted to pick up. I didn't have much time because I had to get back home by 1. And I got, so I think I got there at like 9:30. So I had I ended up stretching it till a little after 11. So I was there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I wanted to go see my buddy Big Mark, because he swapped tables for the June show, and we were having an issue on the refund on the back end on the website. So I was talking to him about that, and then so he's like, I've got some slabs you might be interested in. So he had bargain box slabs, and I ended up buying like $1,000 worth of 80s rookie slabs, and some good stuff. And you saw some last night, and you'll see some more tomorrow night for the 80s at 8 on Tuesday on eBay Live. So I bought a bunch of stuff from him, and then I looked Chris's box. He's the one that had the Burleys. He had a bunch of like Jordans and Kobe's, but it was just outside of like a comfortable price range. Like, I could have made a lot of money last night with the way things were selling, but on maybe an off night, like Thursday night was an off night. Like Thursday night, I would have taken a bath. So, and I've got to be careful with the inventory that I source and what I pay for it, because on an off night, I could really take a bath. So, so that's kind of the issue I run into. So I pass, and I'm like, I know Steve will probably have Jordans. Steve always has Jordans, and he has them priced really, really good. And so he had a lot of Jordans that I had, from a show that I did like 2 months ago, and people and you could get them as low as like $1.25 if you bought enough. So when I asked his box price, it's like, I can do really well. I can pick out half the box and pay a lot less than what the whole box price was. So I did cherry picking, and those Jordans did really well. And then as he's adding up what I got, and then I picked out some Brady and Mahomes. And then I see his Cubs box, and I see Pete Crow Armstrong rookies, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So I went through like an entire box of Cubs and pulled out like a stack of PCA rookies, some stuff for my personal collection. And the PCAs did well. Like, I think one sold for like 2, and then one sold for 9, one sold for 8, one sold for 7. And, I got a good price on those. I don't even know what I paid for them. I know what was on the sticker, and I know I didn't pay sticker. He gave me a pretty good bulk discount on everything. So I think for all of the Jordans and the Mahomes, Brady's, and Cubs, I think I paid $270, I think was the final total. So so that was a good deal. So, and then I had to run, and then I had to like bounce. I had to like put my head down so I didn't run into anybody, because what happens is, you get talking to people, and then I'm later and later. So I put my head down and walked out. I told Mike and John, I'm like, I gotta go, see you, and headed back home. So and then a guy that I had reached out to about a collection was way too high, and I think I talked about this, was like wanted like 8,000 to 10,000. It's like I would be at 2,000. They circled back to me, and we're closer in price now. So that may come to fruition this week. So that will give me some vintage, which I'm a little hesitant on vintage on eBay Live, because it just doesn't move that well on eBay Live for me. Now I know other channels have had great success with the vintage, but not on my channel. So maybe if I do a theme night, I am going to do the set break, the 74 set break. I might wait till next week to do that because I do want to get some type of promotion for it, just to try to drum it up a little bit. So let's go see some more chats. Let's see where we at. Brian says he might be back on the job market. That is a bummer. Dan says, does anyone here print custom baseball cards? I use the Rookies app, and you probably are aware of that. Brian says they didn't like me. Well, somebody will. Somebody will. East Coast Tom. I saw East Coast Tom at the card show. By the way, Tom Coleman has been named the director of dealer operations, or dealer. What did I give you? I gave you a title, director of dealer relations. Director of dealer relations for the June 21st Madison Card Show. Max says most dealers that want to sell the whole box rarely give a whole box price that's even worth bothering anymore. I do see that a lot. I do. And I understand from both sides. A lot of times my whole box price, it depends. If my whole box is brand new, like it's the very first card show that these cards have been in a quarter box, my whole box price is going to be high, and you're probably going to be like, no. But that whole box price is going to go down as it's cherry picked, and then it may start at $200 or even $300 for a 4-row, and then down the road it might be a $50 box, $40 box. But obviously you're not getting the best of the best of the best. Brian says, thanks to Dan, we'll have some sting on it for a while. Do you remember if they looked newer on the Burleys? They were definitely newer. I think one was an Allen and Ginter. It might have been just like a base auto. Another one might have been like an Archives fan favorites. They were both newer autos. Like, hey, what's up, buddy? Come here. You want to say hi? Brian says, I do feel very optimistic moving forward. What's this? He loves, the printer label, the paper printer labels from the thermals. He freaking loves. Hey, you little shit, come here. He just stole a basketball card. Who is that? Is that David Robinson? Little prick. No. You go chew on that one. Come here. It's Ernie's world, and I'm just living in it. Dan wants to know what type of blitz. Hey. It was Dominique Wilkins. Hey. Ernie, no. Now he's got a pack of penny sleeves. All right. Philly Joe says, yes, the slabs seemed to be a hit. Yeah, people love the slabs. To be quite honest with you on the slabs, the first several, I basically broke even on a bunch of the slabs. Towards the end, I made my money. The two Shacks went for quite a bit higher than I paid. There was another slab that went for, I think the Jeter or Mahomes. The Mahomes went for higher. I think even the Jeter did. The Bo Jackson rookie went for quite a bit higher than I paid. Offbeat All-Star says, I was working for a beer distributor, was really liking it. Tom says, Brian, we always need help at FedEx. Cooter, good morning. Dan says, Tom, which branch of FedEx? He works Express. Dan says, moved freight on a dock in Elmhurst years ago for FedEx Freight. Express in Madison has incredibly high turnover because of the low unemployment rate here. Cooter says, I think most vintage collectors are looking for specific cards and conditions, so eBay Live is not the right platform. I agree with that. And I think I mentioned this last week. It's also, I think a lot of the vintage collectors are not on live selling platforms. Like, you're not going to find the vintage collectors of a certain age, I'm not discriminating here, but it's just a fact, are not going to be on eBay Live, Whatnot, Loop, whatever live selling platforms there are out there. District. Unicorn Cupcake says, agree with Cooter. Listing the vintage would probably be the better option than live. Yeah, I'm still going to do the 74 set break. I did sell the Nolan Ryan outright on Buy It Now because I listed like the first 200 cards of the set on Buy It Now. And it took a few days, but they've started to move. The Nolan Ryan sold for like $20 over the weekend. I sold a small lot in one transaction, so they are moving. I have a feeling I'm going to get in, and I do have some money tied up. I should probably, I don't know. Now I'm second guessing myself on this idea. We'll see. Max says, I understand if the buyer is the one approaching the dealer, but if the dealer starts the conversation and wants to sell a dime box for 9 cents a card, why even waste the time? Quarter box got to be well under 10 cents for most dealers. Yeah, absolutely. Dan says, shut the door. Give Ernie those magic mushrooms. Ernie does know how to get my attention. Put him outside. No, I'm not put him outside in a pen. Good morning, Mr. Archer. Dan says, Rich, want to buy some gravure idol cards? John says, remind me not to use FedEx. Gee, thanks, John. FedEx does like to break those tires in my neighborhood. I haven't used FedEx in ages, says John. They are a great service, but expensive. I'm sure my company spends millions with them a year. So that's what I had for today. I think Ernie's ready for doggy. What do you think? You think Ernie's ready for doggy daycare? Cody says, is all your new inventory just going to eBay Live? Basically, yeah. Yeah. I haven't listed, and this is another reason why my Buy It Now sales are down, because I'm not really listing much new stuff. I did list a bunch of 74 singles because that's not a good seller on live. But for the most part, yeah, I can move it so much faster on eBay Live. Like look at all the inventory I bought Saturday, and it's going to be shipped out today and tomorrow. Let's see. Tom says, you get what you pay for usually. It's the cheaper ground service that sucks. What the heck is gravure idol cards? Dan says, Google it. You'll like it. Excellent question, Rich. John says, there's a doc somewhere about the FedEx hub in Memphis. Fascinating viewing for a dork like me. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Big shipping day for me. It's just me and Ernie the rest of the week. My wife leaves for Denver later today for a work conference. So I've got to keep Ernie out of this room. Actually, I think the cleaners come today. So I've got a lot of picking up to do. So my next eBay Live will be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's the 80s at 8, Tuesday night, 80s at 8. John needs some Korean cheerleader cards. Please help me. Rich says, oh, good Lord. Dan says, there aren't any Korean cheerleader cards. Is Amy headed to the Gaylord Rockies? The Gaylord Rockies. I don't know what that means. Have a great day, Orlando. Great hotel, if so. Kim Jong should have cheerleaders. Gem City Card Show. Where are we at? All righty. All right. Have a great day. I'm going to go take Ernie to school. He's rearing to go. All right. Have a great day. Hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Hopefully at an earlier time than 9 a.m.